Hello students, today we are going to study about chapter 11, light, shadow and reflection. So the question arises that what is light? Light is a form of energy which help us to see things, right? Whatever you are seeing around, you are able to see only and only because of light. Just imagine that you are standing on a dark room, inside a dark room. So can you see the things around you? No, you are not able to see anything around you. No objects, no table, no chair, nothing. Because light is not present over there, right? So that's why light is the only source of energy which help us to see the things. And now the question arises that how we are able to see the things with the help of light. Now the question arises like this. So it is because of a phenomena known as reflection. Okay, so let us see what is reflection. Reflection is basically when the light falls on a shiny surface and then the light bounces back like a bouncing ball. So when you play with a ball and you actually throw it on the wall, then it bounces back to you. The same goes with the reflection. Okay, so this phenomena is known as reflection of light. Now, I'm going to tell you that actually just see that this is a surface. Like, just imagine it's your table, right? And light is falling on it like this. So, this ray, this light is known as incident. What is it known as? Incident light. Okay? It is known as incident light, right? Then when it actually touches the surface, it bounces back like this. And this is known as reflected light. Okay. So you can see that this ray which is falling is known as incident light. And the ray which actually bounces back and go to our eyes is known as reflected light. Okay. Now let us see few examples. So here is an example of reflection. The question arises that how we are able to see the colors around us. Apple is of red color. Maybe you have a table which is of brown color. You can see bed sheets of different colors, books, everything around you, you know that which color it is. So basically it is because the light is falling on that object and it is bouncing back and going into your eyes. Now the question is how we are able to see the color. So you can see that sun gives 7 colors. Okay, like a rainbow. When you see a rainbow, it is of 7 colors. Same is of white color. Okay, white color is made up of 7 colors. So when the light falls on an object like on an apple, all the 7 colors fall on an apple, then it bounces back only the color which the object is actually. Rest color it absorbs. Okay, so it absorbs the rest of the color and only the red color bounce back and goes into the eyes. So that is why we are able to see the apple as red color. Same goes with other colors, right? If you see the leaves of a plant, so you are able to see the green color on it. Why? Because the incident light is falling on it with 7 colors. It is a combination of 7 colors because it's a white light, the sunlight, and when it reflects green color into your eyes, it appears green. Rest all colors is absorbed by the leaf, right? So this is an example of reflection, and because of the reflection only we are able to see the colors, right? So the color which gets reflected by the object which we see make our brain understand that color is the color of an object which we see, right? Now let us see next concept, that what are the types of objects. There are two bases in which it is divided. On the basis of emission of light, that means whether it produces the light or not, then we have two types of object, which is luminous object and non-luminous object. And then the another type is type of object which is based on the behavior towards light, which is transparent translucent and opaque, which we have already studied in the previous chapter. Now let us understand what do you mean by luminous object. Luminous object is basically an object which produces light or emits light. Emits means which produces light, which gives light of their own, like sun. Sun is the biggest source of luminous object, which is a natural luminous object. Diya, candle, you can see stars. This is firefly. This is bulb. Okay, matchstick, torch, lamp. All these are example of luminous object because it produces light, right? That's why. But you can see mirror over here, right? So uh is mirror a luminous object? No, mirror is not a luminous object. Why mirror is not a luminous object? Because it do not produces the light, but it reflects the light, right? So that's why mirror is not a luminous object. Now, let us have another type of object, which is non-luminous object. A non-luminous object is opposite of a luminous object, which does not produce light is called non-luminous object. So an object which does not produce light of its own is known as non-luminous object. So you can see the example like pencil, bottle, book, earth, and moon. So moon is a natural non-luminous object and it works like a mirror to us. Why? Because it reflects the light of a sun. So जो भी आप रात को moonlight देखते हैं, that is not produced by moon. That is actually the sunlight which is getting reflected. So moon is an example of non-luminous object and mirror is also an example of non-luminous object. So you can have a small activity around you. You just identify the objects around you, which object is luminous and which object is non-luminous. Now let us understand about transparent objects. So what are transparent objects? We have already studied about it, that transparent objects are those objects which do not allow the light, which allows the light to pass through them, or we can say that we can see the things clearly by looking at them. Okay. For example, in an aquarium, we have a glass aquarium. We can see the fish inside it. So it is an example of transparent object. Why? Because it allows the light to pass through it completely. That's why we are able to see the things clearly, right? That what is inside it or something like that. Correct? So you can see a glass over here. You can see that this glass is placed here and the wall is of white and black strips. So we can see through the glass that black and white strips, right? So this is an example of transparent object. You can see here window, glass window. You can see glass, you can see specs, time. This is a sand timer, right? It is also made up of glass, right? And you have magnifying glass also. This is an example of transparent object, which allows the light to pass through it completely. Then we have translucent object. So translucent object allows the light to pass, but partially. This is very important to understand that it only allows the partial light to pass. That means half of the light it blocks and rest it allows. That's why we are able to see the things, but not so clearly. You can see the example over here. Like this is a transparent glass, right? You can see the things. If I place anything inside it, I can see it. If I place something in this green glass, I can see that what is it, but I cannot identify that actually what kind of thing is inside it. If I pour a milk, I cannot see the white color, right? If I see through this, I can only see green color. So I can identify that something is inside it, but I cannot tell you that what it is actually, right? So this is an example of translucent object. You can see the butter paper also. It's the best example of translucent object. जो मिठाइयों के डब्बों के ऊपर रखा जाता है, right? And you can also give an example of translucent object as dusty glass window. So if you see anything through dusty glass window, you can see that what's inside, what's outside the window, but you are not able to identify that what is it actually. You can see some shadows or you can see some figures, but you cannot identify that what is actually outside the dusty window, right? Now let us understand about opaque objects. So what is opaque object? Opaque object is basically an object which do not allow the light to pass through them, right? So we cannot see anything through that object, right? For example, apple, chair, book, anything around you. So you can compare this transparent, translucent and opaque. You can see this child actually having a transparent object with it. So I can see the face very clearly. This is a translucent example. I can see the face here very clearly, and then this is an opaque object. I cannot see the face actually, right? In translucent I can see the face but not so clearly, but in opaque I cannot see at all what is there, right? So rest we will be understanding in the next video. Thank you very much to watch this video.